Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So, in this lecture, we are going to do some practice questions on all the chapters that we have covered till now. Uh, and in those practice questions, we would be covering some important logic building concepts which we were not able to cover in our daily basis lecture. So, in this lecture, we would be covering some important questions which are useful for your college exams as well as school exams, and they are most usually asked in your semester exams or end sem exams. So we would be doing some of those questions. And also, if you didn't have subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and comment. Also, like the video if you find it helpful, because each and every topic and each and every concept of Python have been discussed in this playlist, and I have made this playlist with a lot of hard work or effort, you can say, so that any one of you didn't face any issues while doing this course. So now, also one more important thing is, uh, don't forget to do questions of Python side by side. All logics and all concepts we have discussed already, but still do not forget to do questions of every topic. Uh, you if you can't practice uh, a lot of questions in a day, uh, try to cover one topic in one day and do the questions of that topic on any platform like Geeks for Geek, LeetCode. And if you have any doubt, you can simply just ask in the comment section. I would be uh, replying to each and every one of you guys. So now in this tutorial video, and I would be making another tutorial video in which we would be going to do all the questions that would be left after this tutorial video. Now for that we are gonna first solve our questions from the very first chapter. So that is our variables and data types. Now, so our first question is to swap two variables. I would also be writing question at the top. So if you want to practice it later, you can do it easily. So I would write swap two numbers without using two variables, without using another variable, sorry, without using third variable. Now, what do you mean by swapping two numbers? So, swapping two numbers is basically, oh, I have the value of A as 5 and B as 10. So, I want to swap their values, mean I want A as 10 and B as 5. So, I want to swap their values. So, uh, now, how can I swap their values? So, it is an important concept. Suppose I take A as 5 and B as 10. Now I want to swap their values. So I would be simply writing a comma b is equals to b comma a. Now what does this mean? This means that the equals to operator is used to assign some value. Now the value of a, which is currently 5, would be assigned to b. First parameter is assigned to first variable. So now the value of a, that is 5, would be b's value in, while we would be printing the current value, and the value of b, which is currently 10, would be uh, become new to a, that would be 10. Now a would become 10. So now if I print a and b, and if I print it, you can see a sorry, b becomes a becomes 5, and sorry, I guess we have not saved our values. Now if I try to save it and run it, now you can see first we have printed A. So A becomes 10. Earlier it was 5. So it takes the value of B, and B, which was earlier 10, now becomes 5. So don't forget to save our code. After that, run the code. So this was our swapping two numbers question. Now another question we're gonna discuss is check the type of data type uh, of the user given inputs. So I would write find the data type of different user inputs. Now we have discussed this concept in our normal classes, like how can we find the data type of different user types. So we use our type keyword, which gives the type of data it is storing. So I'm taking two, three variables as input from the user. First is our name, which you know is a string value. So I would write enter your name. Suppose I take students marks. You know it can be float as well. So let me write it as I would simply write input because it can be integer as well. Enter your marks. Now one more thing, I can take user's age as input. You know it is an int type. Enter your age. Also I would be making marks as input integer type. Now if I try to also I would be printing it, print type. So first okay, so I would write type keyword, after that type of name, print type of marks, and print type of age. It would give the data type that is stored in our variables. Now if I first save it and then try to run it, it is asking my name. So I enter my name, that is Pranav Gupta, and I enter my marks, suppose 99, entering our age. So after age we have forgotten this. So if I enter my age, I suppose I enter 19. Now you know name is a string type, so it is answering class string. Marks is our integer type, that is 99, so it is suggesting class int. Now age is also an integer type, so it is suggesting class int. So in this way we can find the data type of each user inputs. So this was how to find the data type of different user inputs. Now our next question is convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. Now this is also, you can say, a math problem that we are covering in Python. Some math problems like we have discussed in our regular classes, how to print the length and breadth of square. Like these questions, some math problems also we can print in our Python program. So I would be writing convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. Now for that we first have to know what is the relationship between Celsius and Fahrenheit. So the relationship between Celsius and Fahrenheit I would be writing in the comments is Fahrenheit is equals to 9 by 5, sorry, C into 9 by 5 plus 32. So where F is our Fahrenheit and C is Celsius. So this is the relation between our Fahrenheit and Celsius. Now they are saying to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. So I would be taking Celsius as input from the user. So Celsius is, so I would be taking Celsius as our float value, like we have normally seen when we use temperature. it is normally in float values. It can be also in int values, but for now we are taking it in float type. So I would write my float keyword, and after that I am inputting my enter your Celsius. Enter your Celsius value, Celsius temperature. Now this is our Celsius. So now I have to convert it into Fahrenheit. So I would make a Fahrenheit variable. Now in this I would be writing Celsius into 9 by 5 sorry, plus 32. Now one thing that you have to keep in mind is that we would be writing Celsius into 9 by 5 in parentheses. Why? Because if we didn't write it in parentheses, uh, it would not follow the operator precedence method. Means it would not follow a scientific method to calculate the arithmetic operations. So now if I print my Fahrenheit, sorry, so I can be writing Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit. So now in this way I would be printing. So okay, I have not saved my value. I would be making a new terminal, and if I run now, it is still, I guess, okay. So I have not saved my value. Now if I save my value and try to run my program, so it is now asking for Celsius temperature. Now here if I enter 20.4, so it is giving me Fahrenheit value. You can also calculate in your calculator, but we all know that Python gives the correct value. So believing that it is the correct value, so our answer is 68.72, while we are giving our Celsius value as 20.4. So basically, as we all know, temperature is in degree. So by default, I guess it is taking in degrees. So we have also learned how to convert Celsius into Fahrenheit. Now our next question would be uh, to calculate simple interest. Now we have seen in our smaller classes that how to calculate simple interest. It has a very simple formula. Now first I would be writing the formula in the parentheses, sorry, in the comments. So we know simple interest is equals to P into R into T by 100. So this is the formula of our uh, simple interest that we have studied in our lower classes as well. So for that I would be taking my principal value. So P stands for principal amount, R stands for rate of interest, and T stands for time for which you have taken the interest. So for that I would be taking my variables as P, R, and T as input from the user. So I would write principal in, I would be taking it as in type, enter principal amount. So I have written wrong spelling. Simple amount. Now I would be taking rate of interest as another variable, which I would be taking as float because rate of interest can be sometimes float. So enter rate of interest. Yes. Now I would be taking, okay, there is some issue. Okay. So I would be taking my time, which is by default, I guess it would be taking in hours. Not hours, it would convert the value. So I would be taking it in float. So enter time. So now I would be simply in applying my formula, that is P into R into T. Okay, so I have to write the full form, principal into rate into time by 100. So after that we would be printing our simple interest. Now if I first I have to save this value, and if I try to run it, it is asking principal amount. So suppose I take very easy 1000, and rate of interest is 2, and time also as 3 years. So we know what would be the output. It would be our 60. So you can see it is answering in float. So by default, it would answer our simple interest in float value. And if you want to change the type of the output, you can also change like we have already discussed. So this was how to calculate simple interest. Now, our next question is calculate the area and parameter of rectangle. Now, we all know the area and parameter of rectangle. Now, what is the area of rectangle? We all know that it is length into breadth. And for parameter, we know it is 2 times of length plus 2 times of breadth. So I would be taking length as breadth as input. So both I would be taking as integer type. So after this, while printing our area, I would write length into breadth. After that, I can, at last, I would be printing both of them. So in parameter, I would be writing 2 times of length into breadth. Now, if I print my area and my parameter, it would give the output. Okay. Now, if I first I have to save this. Now, if I try to run, okay, so it is giving some error. I have not used this. So now if I try to run, okay, so it is basically giving me some error. Let me check. It is saying invalid literal for int with base 10. So I can't use my int type. Just I would be simply inputting my values. Now if I try to see this, Okay, first I have to save it. If I try to run. Now, what is the error here? It is, I guess, due to some terminal error it is giving because there is no error in our code. Okay, so I can write length as 5 and breadth as 4. So I have to first type it as int type. So because we by default, as I have already told you, Python takes your data type as string. If we didn't you can say didn't manage, or you can say didn't override typecast. So length as 5 and breadth as 4. Now if I print, you can see length into breadth, that is 5 into 420, and 2 times of length into breadth would be giving us 40. So we can write in this way. So one thing that you have to keep in mind, if you didn't typecast it into our int type, it would take string, and we know that we cannot perform arithmetic operations on our string. So now we would be doing some questions of conditional statements. So we have been done with our first chapter, that is variables and data types. So now we would be discussing some questions of conditional statements. Now, our first question is check whether a number is positive, negative or zero. So I am writing the question here. Check whether a number is negative, positive or zero. So you know there are multiple conditions. So I have already told in our lectures that we can use multiple if elif statements to check whether the number is negative, positive or zero if there are multiple statements. So first I would be taking a number as input from the user. I would be taking as our int type. Enter your number. So like in this way I would be telling the user to enter his number. Now I would write the condition if number is greater than 0, then we know it is positive. So it would print number is positive. Now if number is less than 0, we know it is negative. So I would be using my elif condition that number is less than 0. So it would be negative. Number is negative. Now uh, we have an option to use our elif and also our else condition. So I would simply write else and print else number is 0. Print number is 0. You can also use elif condition if you want. There is no such you can say restriction. Now if I try to print, now suppose I enter 5. It is saying number is positive. Now if I again try to run this, if I enter 0, it is saying number is 0. Let me try for negative as well. Suppose I enter -8. It is saying number is negative. So we have tried all the three cases. Now, our next question we would be moving forward to is 1 second. So now, our next question is find the largest of three numbers. Now, suppose we are given three numbers which we are inputting from the user. Now we have to find which number is the largest among the three. So I would be taking three numbers from the user first, which would be my int type. Now I have input my three numbers from the user which are my int type. Now for this there are multiple conditions we would be making. So we would be again using our if elif else conditions. So now what we would be doing is that we know if we have to find the largest of three numbers. So I would first write for A only. Now if A is greater than B and A is greater than C, it should print A is greatest. So it would print A is greatest. Now in the elif condition I would be writing if suppose for B, if B is greater than A and B is also greater than C, then it would print B is greatest. Now as it would print C is greatest. Now what we have done in this is that first we are inputting three numbers from the user. After that we have used first we have taken the case of A. Now suppose A is greater than B and A should also be greater than C. So we are using our AND operator. Now AND operator as we have discussed would return false if one of the conditions become false. So both the conditions we have to be true. So in only that case our A would become greatest. And similarly in case of B we have used our AND operator. If B is greater than both A and C, then only B would be greatest. So in these cases we have used our AND operator. Now if I first save and try to run my program. Now if I enter my number A, that is 5 and B as 6 and C as 7. So you can see C is greatest is printed because C is greatest. Now suppose again I try to print for different values. Now if I print A as 10, B as 7, C as 8, now it would print A is greatest. So this was the case of how to find the largest among the three numbers. So you can also find the largest for four numbers. That would be our practice question. That would be our homework question. So now our next problem would be check if a year is a leap year or not. Check if a year is a leap year or not. So you must have heard about leap year, uh, in which you most of you have only seen that leap year comes after 4 years, but leap year has some more values to get into a leap year. Now, what are those values? To check whether a year is a leap year, there is not only one condition that if it is if it come after 4 years, it is a leap year. This is not mandatory. So, how can we check that if a year is a leap year or not? So, I would be taking our year, any year as input from the user. I would be taking it as int type, enter a year. Now, if I have to find whether a year is a leap year or not, sorry. So now for that I would be using my if condition, which suggests that if our year is divided by 4 and is giving year is divided by 400 and is giving remainder as 0, then it is a leap year. Or we are using our or condition as well, or year modulus 4 is equals to 0. So now we have seen that We know here if year is divided by 4 and gives remainder 0, we know it is a leap year. But also if it is divided by 400, it is also a leap year. But there is one more condition, that is our you can say, if year should be divided by 4 and year should not be divided by 100, will not give 0. So what we have done in this case is, our year should be first divided by 400. It should be completely divisible. Then it is a leap year. And one more condition is that year should be divided by 4 but not divided by 100. So it would print leap year. So else it is not a leap year. So else print not a leap year. So this was the case. Now suppose I enter any year which is not divisible by 400 but satisfy both these conditions, then it would become a leap year. Now if I save this and run, suppose I enter, now what's the problem coming? Now suppose I save this and try to run. It is asking a year. So if I enter 2026, the current year, it would suggest not a leap year. Now suppose I enter any year randomly. So if I try to run and enter any year randomly, it is suggesting not a leap year. I can enter any year. So if I enter 2021, it is also not a leap year. So you can also check for leap year. Currently, I am not getting which year was leap year the last time. So you can search, after searching on the Google, you can see whether a year is a leap year or not. So this was our leap year concept. Now this is also an important question. Now another question is, check whether a character is a vowel or a consonant. Character is a vowel or a consonant. Now, what are vowels? Vowels we know A, I, E, O, U are vowels, and the rest of the alphabet letters are our consonants. So we have 5 vowels and 21 consonants. Now suppose I take any character as input. Also, I would be typecasting it into lowercase so that it would become easy. So I would write dot lower function which is used to uh, lower our capital letters. Now, if I want to check whether a character is lowercase or not, vowel or consonant, so I would write our if condition, and in that I would write if character in A I O U, A E I O U. I would also be using small letters. Sorry for disturbance. I need just 1 minute. I have to bring my charger. Just hold for a minute. I just plug my charger. Sorry for the inconvenience. I just have to plug my charger. Now, if I see that if my character, we have already discussed our in keyword that is used to iterate over something. So if our character is in AIOU, then we will print vowel that our character is a vowel as it is a consonant. Else print consonant. Now if I save my program and try to run, I enter for small a, it would give me vowel. Now if I enter for another value, suppose J, which is not a vowel, it would answer consonant. So like in this way, we can also check whether our character is vowel or consonant. Now our next question would be whether a number is even or odd. We have already discussed it in our uh, tutorial classes. Number is even or odd. So we all know if our number is divisible by 2, it is odd. Sorry, even. Otherwise, it is odd. Now suppose I take any number. So if our number is divided by 2, completely divisible by 2, it is an even number. Else it is an odd number. Now, if I try to run this, now for any number 4, it is giving even. And again, if I run it for 5, okay, there is some issues. Now, if I run it for 5, it would give me odd. So I can check it for even as well as odd. Now, uh, we, now we would be making our calculator using if elif. If elif. Now, you would be making a calculator using our if elif. For now, for calculator, we have to first have an operator. Suppose I take, you can take any operator. Suppose I make a variable operator in which I am inputting any operator. Input, enter operator. Operator is basically plus minus sign. So now, if I have to make an calculator, so in the if condition, I would write if operator is plus, where is our plus sign? So here. So if our operator is plus, it would print a plus b. So I would also take two numbers as input because we know we need two operators, two values to operate on. So I would be first taking two values as input. Now, if you know if our operator is plus, it would add. Now, if our operator is minus, so it would subtract the values. Now, if our operator is multiply, it would print the multiplication. And if our operator is you can say our operator is modulus. It would be doing the modulus. It would print the modulus. Another kind of operator we would be discussing is our division operator. For now, we are making these operators only. So it would write A divided by B. Another, the last one I would be making is our float division operator. It would float dividing the two values. Now, if I save this and try to run, so if I enter my first value 4, then 5, then enter any operator, suppose plus. If I try to run, it is answering 9. So in this way I can print it. Now for another, we can use any another operator. So 7, 9, and I want to multiply them. So I would be using my multiply, and it is giving me output 63. So like in this manner, you can make an operator. Now we have also discussed how to make a calculator. Now another question is how to check whether a character is uppercase or lowercase. So how to check whether a character is uppercase or lowercase. Now, in this case also we would be taking our character as input from the user. Now, in this case, we would not be converting it into lowercase because we have to check whether it is uppercase or no or lowercase. So we know if our character is upper, we would be using our function is upper. So if character is upper, then it would print uppercase. Now, if our character dot is lower, we have discussed these functions is upper is lower in in string functions to check whether a character is uppercase or lowercase. So if it is lower, it would print lowercase. Now if I try to print it, so first I have to save it. So if I write small d, so basically it is giving error because of some issues. Just wait a second. Let me open a new terminal. And now if I run it, suppose I enter small d, it is giving lowercase. Now again if I run it for capital A, now it would giving an error because of some issues in the terminal. Suppose I enter A. So it is giving some error because of our terminal. Now let me retry it. Suppose I enter capital A, it is giving uppercase. So now you can see we have done the both cases of uppercase and lowercase. Now this was how to check whether the character is uppercase or lowercase. Now I have to one more question whether a triangle is valid or not. So I have to check this or not. So we know if the sum of two sides is greater than third side of a triangle, it is a valid triangle. So I would be taking input of A, B and C. I would be copy pasting it. Now we know if A plus B is greater than C and also B plus C is greater than A and A plus C is greater than B, then it is a valid triangle. So all of the conditions should become true, then only it would be a valid triangle. Other Otherwise it is not a valid triangle. So we are printing triangle is valid. Now else it would give it is not valid. Now after saving this, if I print it, if I enter 4 as A, B5 and C6, so we know the sum of two sides is greater than the third side. So triangle is uh, and for we would give A as 4, B as 7 and C as 3. So now suppose if I give the values different, suppose our we know two sides should be greater than the third side. So suppose I enter 11 here, sorry 13 here. We know third side is greater, so it would give triangle is not valid. So it is saying it is not valid. So in this case we have also, after solving this problem, we have also discussed all the problems of our conditional statements. Now after that we are going to discuss some statements on loops. So now we are going to do some questions on our next topic, that is loops. So till now we have covered all the questions of conditional statements, variables, data types. Hope you didn't have any doubt in these questions that we have discussed till now. Now moving to our next topic, that is loops. Our first question is print even numbers from 1 to 100. So it is a very simple question, as we have discussed some of its examples in our regular classes as well. So print even numbers from 1 to 100. Now for this question we would be using our for loop. So I would be writing for I in range, and we have to print only one number. So our starting index would be 1 and ending would be 101. What's the reason behind our ending index is greater than 1, greater than the our ending value, that is 100? Because by default in Python, when we try to run a loop, it does not include our end index. So and in the step index I would be writing 2, because I have to basically print even number. So no, wait, we have to print even number from 1 to 100. So if I would give an ending index of, you can say, so we have to print from 2 basically, because if we start from 1, 1 is not an even number, so it would be 2. There is a little, you can say, correction in the question. So, and the step index would be 2 because we have to print all the even numbers. Now, I would be simply printing our I. Now, if I try to print this code, okay, so I have not saved our code yet. Now, if I first save it and then try to run, you can see we are getting all the even numbers. So, after this, our next question would be, let me comment it out first. Also, I'm writing the questions on above the answer. So, when you will be trying these questions, you can first simply see the question and try to do it yourself, so that if you face any issue, then you can check the answer. But before that, you simply have to write your questions in VS Code or any notebook, and then try to solve it by yourself. Uh, do not do like this, that you are seeing the answer side by side. This would not help you in the future. So our next question is print odd numbers. So suppose I take any number. Suppose I want to print odd numbers from 1 to 100. So I would write our starting index as 1 and ending index as 101, and our step index would be 2 because we have to print all the odd numbers. So if I write this and save my code and then try to run, you can see we are getting all the odd numbers. So 100 is not included. Why? Because mm, uh, first of all, 100 is not an even number, and also 101 will not be included because end index is not included. So we have also done this question. Now, what is our next question? It is how to find the sum of first n natural numbers. Find the sum of first n natural numbers. Now, suppose I have to find the sum of first n natural numbers. Now, what do you mean by the sum of first n natural numbers? Suppose I have been given any number. Suppose 5. So, for 5, suppose I have n as 5. I am writing it in comment. So, what do you mean by sum of first n natural numbers? Means that is, like I am writing like this. It is saying 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. So, we have to find the sum of all the natural numbers. So, for that, we would be taking our n as input from the user. For till which number we have to find the sum. So, it would be our n. Now we are taking sum as 0. We are initializing sum as 0 because currently we have not have any value in our sum. Now if I try to run my loop for I in range. Now what would be I be giving my range? I would be starting it from 1 because there is no sense of starting it from 0, because if we add anything to 0, the result would be 0. So and our ending index and our ending index would be 1 greater than. So our we don't know our number, that is n, we are taking input, so our ending index would be n plus 1, so that n is included in our ending index. So I would simply write n plus 1. Now I basically now when it would iterate over our numbers, that is 1 2 3 4 5, so I have to add sum in it. So I would simply write sum is equals to sum plus I. Now what it is doing is, initially our sum was 0, the value of sum was 0, and when it is iterating over each and number, first it would start with 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. After that it would stop because our ending index is reached. So I would iterate over each and every number till n plus 1 and would exclude n plus 1. So I would add my sum in I so that the value of sum gets updated. So now after this we can also write like this, as I have already told you, sum plus equals to I. It also means the same. Now I would increment my value of I. What most students forgot to do is that they do not increment the value of I. So our output, we didn't get the desired output. So we have to keep in mind, because first I becomes 1, then it would become 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. If I am printing it for first 5 natural numbers. Now I would print my sum. Now if I save it and try to run my program, suppose I enter any number 5. So it is saying answer 15. And if you also see, we know the sum of first 5 natural numbers is 15. Now suppose if I try to run it for 7, it would be 28. You can also check it by yourself by adding all the numbers. But by default, we know that VS Code gives the answer right. So this was how to print the sum of first n natural numbers. So after this, our next question would be, find the factorial of a given number. Find factorial of a given number. This question we have done, but I am doing it again because it is in our practice set. So suppose we take any number, we take input from the user. So I am inputting it from my user. Now in starting, we will take our factorial as 1. So I will take my factorial, which is I am giving the value 1. I am assigning it with the variable name fact. So now I would run a loop. As I have already told you what is factorial. So now if I try to run my loop, I would be starting from 1 until n plus 1, so that my last number is also included. Now it would similarly iterate over each and every number. So I would be simply multiplying it with my fact variable. So fact into equals to I. And also I would be incrementing my I by 1 by default. So now if I try to print my factorial, and for so I would save my code, and if I try to run this, suppose I try to run this for factorial 5, it is giving me answer 120. You can also check. Also I am once again telling you what is factorial. Suppose I have to find the factorial of 5. So it is basically 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So basically in decreasing terms it is multiplying the numbers. And it would by default not include 0 because we have started our number from 1. And if we have to take in mind this thing that we don't have to include 0 in our range, because else the whole output would become 0 and it would not give us the desired result. So this was how to find the factorial of a number. Now what our next question is, how to reverse a number. This is very important question in our college exams, or you can say sometimes it can come in your school exams if your teacher is teaching this concept. So how to reverse a number. Now what do you mean by reverse a number? Suppose I have a number. I am writing it in the comments. Suppose I have a number 1, 2, 3. Now if I want the reverse of it, now how can I reverse it? What is the reverse of 1, 2, 3? It would be 3 to 1 if we reverse this number. So how we can write it in Python? So First of all, we have to take input from the user. We can take any number input from the user, for which we have to find the reverse. So now I would also take a variable reverse, and I am initializing it with 0 because it has any value till now in it. Now, for reversing a number, our number should be greater than 0, else it can either be a two-digit number, three-digit number, one-digit number, but it should be greater than 0. So I would write with the help of while loop, while number is greater than 0, then only it can do the required task, that is reversing a number. So our number should be greater than 0. Now here we write another variable, that is digit. Now I am simply writing, I would be explaining you after writing this. Now what I have written is digit, which I have taken as another variable inside our while loop. It is basically, I have write digit equals to num modulo 10. Now what it does is, suppose I have a number, mm, you can say like 1 2 3. Now we know modulus give us the uh, in this statement modulus gives us the last digit of the number. So when I divide our num when I do modulus of my number by 10, it would give me last digit of of our number, that is 1 2 3. So what would be the last digit? If I divide 1 2 3 by 10, it would give me uh, 3. So now 3 is stored. Now I am writing another statement, that is reverse equals to reverse into 10 plus digit. Now what does this statement do? Uh, Initially we have reverse 0. So it is storing the value now. Reverse is 0. So 0 into 10 is 0 plus digit. The digit we have find in the previous statement, which was coming out to be 3. So digit is 3. So reverse has the value 3, which is stored in it. So we have stored 3 in it. Now what next step would be, num equals to num by float within 10. Now what does this do? This removes the last digit of the number. Now we have used 3, so it would remove 3. Now we would have our number 12 only. Okay, so till this thing. So once again I am explaining this code to you. First we have, suppose we have a number taking as input. Suppose I take 1 2 3, and I am declaring a reverse variable which is 0. So while our number is greater than 0, only then we can print these operations. So first time in extracting our last digit. How can I extract my last digit? By modulus it by 10, which would give me the last digit. Now I am storing the last digit. What I get it as a last digit, I get 3 as my last digit while moduling by 10. So it is storing in reverse, because reverse initially is 0. 0 into 10 0 plus digit was 3. So 3 is stored. Now I have written num is equals to num float within 10. Now it removes our last digit, that is 3. So now for uh, next time the loop will run. Now when the loop will run again, so we have only two digits remaining, that is 12, 1 and 2. So because 3 is removed by this third statement, that is num float within 10. So now we have 12. Now if we 12 do 12 modulo 10, we have 2 as remainder. So now it is stored in digit again. So we have 3 2 now, and we will also remove our last digit, that is 2 in 12. So now we have only 1. Now 1 is stored when we do 1 modulo 10. we can get the output as 1. So it is stored in digits. So we get 3 to 1. Now we have also removed the last digit, that was 1. So all the digits are removed and we get our uh, desired result, that is 3 to 1. Now if I try to print reverse, because all the reverse numbers are printed in reverse variable. Now if I save and try to run, suppose I write 1 to 3, so its opposite, its reverse would be 3 to 1. So this was, I know this is a little difficult, you can say difficult concept, because we have not done anything related to this or like this. So it can be a new concept, but you have to do it, and I don't think so you have any doubt, because I have taught you this in very simpler way. And again, if you said me, I can taught you, like for suppose I have any number 1 to 3, and I'm taking a reverse variable in which I would be storing the reverse number of the number. So first of all, our number should be greater than 0 to find its reverse. Now, first of all, I'm extracting its last digit. Then I'm storing it in the reverse variable. And after that, I'm removing the last digit that I have extracted, because suppose I'm taking from 1 to 3. I have extracted the last digit, that is 3. Now I have stored that last digit in my reverse. So now 3 is of no use to me. So I would be moving it by float division. As we all know, float division does not include our decimal. It includes only integer. So it would remove that 3. So 3 is removed. Now we have only two digits left. That is 1 and 2. That is 12. So when I do 12 modulo 10, it would give me 2. So I would store it in reverse. Now when I store it, I don't have any use of 2. So I would be removing it. So I have removed it. Now uh, after that we have 1. So what would we doing with 1? Now we know that 1 modulus 10 would give 1. So I have stored it in 1. So I get 3 to 1, which is reverse. Now I would be simply removing 1 because there is no use. Now all digits are removed. Now it would check whether number is greater than 0 or not. Now there is no number, so it would simply print reverse. Like in this way, we can also find it for any other number. Suppose I have 356, so it would return 653. Like in this case, we can also digit number, like I have 12. Okay, so I have 12. It would give 2 1. So this was the case of how to reverse a number. Our next question is how to find palindrome of a number. This is also an important question. In it can also come in your school or college exams. Also an important question, that is palindrome. How to find palindrome of a number. Now, first I would be explaining what is palindrome. I would be writing it in the comment section. So, what is palindrome? Wait a second. So, what is a palindrome? Palindrome means that if you read a word from starting or you read a word from ending, uh, you will get the same word. For example, I have a word ma'am. If I read this word from forward, it is like M-A-A-M, ma'am. Now, if I read this word from backward, like from here, it would also be reading the same, M-A-A-M. So we are getting the same value uh, after reading it from forward direction or from backward direction. From both the cases, we get the same value. So after that, I have told you if we are reading a number from forward direction or backward direction, it means the same. That is palindrome of a number. Now suppose I have 1, 2, 3. Okay. Suppose I take 1, 2, 2, 1. Now if I read it from forward direction, it is 1, 2, 2, 1. Now if I read it from backward direction, it is also the same 1, 2, 2, 1. So when we read a number from both uh, front direction and also from back direction, we get the same result. That is palindrome of a number. So in this case also we would take a number for which we have to find the palindrome. We are inputting that number, enter a number. So we are asking the user to enter a number. Now in this case we will take our original we will take a variable original and we will be storing number in it. Now I would be explaining when I write the whole code why we do this, and we also take reverse as 0 because at last we have to mm, basically say that our original number is equals to our reverse number, because as I have told you in the example that from both sides we get the same output. So uh, it means our original number is equal to our reverse number. So that's why I have make a new variable that is original and assign num to it, because our original number should be equal to the reverse number. Now how can we find our reverse number? I have already told you in this. For that, we will be first using our while loop in which our number should be greater than 0. And after that, in a digit, we would be storing, first we would be extracting our last digit. And after that, we would be storing it in reverse. So after that, we would get the we would remove the last digit. So this we have seen in reverse. Now what we would be doing after this is, now we have stored our number in original variable. Why? Because we have to check whether our original number is equals to our reverse number or not. If they are equal, they are palindrome of each other. So that's why I have stored original num in original variable. So I would simply write, use our if else statement and write if original equals to, I would be using double equals to. If original is equals to reverse, so if they are equal, then print it is a palindrome. So it would print it is a palindrome. Palindrome. Now, else it is not a palindrome. It would print it is not a palindrome. Okay. Palindrome. So if I save this and try to run, now it is asking me a number. Suppose I enter ma'am. Now it is a palindrome because from starting and ending, if we read our text, it is same. So if I try to run this, so okay, I have taken my number as integer because we have been dealing with numbers. So if I try to run this, first I would save this code. Now if I try to run this, I write 1, 2, 2, 1. Now we know that it is a palindrome because from both sides the number are equal. So it is saying it is a palindrome. Now if I randomly enter any number, Now we know this is not a palindrome. So first I run my code. Now if I enter any number randomly, we know it is not a palindrome. So it is not a palindrome. These are the case of palindrome and reverse. These are most important concepts are and most likely they are gonna be asked in your college SEM exams or you can say exams. Now, what would be our next question is print multiplication table of a number. Multiplication table. So we can print any multiplication table of a number up to 10. So, or we can do it for till any value, but we would be printing till 10. So, I would be taking any number for which we have to print our multiplication table. Now, I am taking any number which I am inputting from my user. Now, if I want to print my multiplication table, so I would be using a for loop for I in range. I would be uh, giving it our starting index as 1 because we know our n is constant means for suppose I have to print a table for 6, so we know 6 is constant. 6 into 1, 6 into 2, 6 into 3 up to 10. We know 6 is constant. So our I is changing every time. So when I'm iterating over each and every you can say element or digit, I would be writing 1 to 11 because our end index is not included. So if I have to print it till 10, I am giving my end index as 11. So for I in range. Now, if I print it, uh, so I would be writing print n into I. Now, for every time we have to iterate our loop as well. So I would be writing I plus equals to 1. Now, if I try to run my code, first I would be saving it. Because I have to print multiplication table of 6. So you can see we are getting 6, the table of 6. So in this way you can print any for any number. Like suppose I want to print it for 10. I can also do that. So these are this was the question of multiplication table of a number. Then we are be doing count digits of a number. Now what do you mean by this? In this I am writing in the comment section. Suppose I have any number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I take it randomly. Suppose I have this number and I have to count how many digits are there in the number. Now we can see there are 5 digits in our number. This thing we have to do with the help of Python. That we have to check how many digits are there in our number. So for that also, first we would be taking our number as input. Before that I write here number of digits 5. So we have to find the number of digits. Now we are taking any numbers. So first we have to give our count variable. We have to make a count variable in which we are assigning 0 first. Why? Because currently we do not have any numbers. So after that, first our number should be greater than 0. So I would write while number greater than 0. Now after that, I would write count plus equals to 1. Now what we are doing is first we have taken a number as input from our user. After that, uh, we have making a variable that is count. So what does count do? Count counts the number. Like suppose I have used while loop. So our number is greater than 0, suppose. Now when I would be encountering each and every digit, it would count would add a value in it. And after that, uh, you can simply just, so for that, wait a second. Yeah, after that we would remove our number. For removing, I have talked about float division. Now I simply print my count. Now first I would run this code and would after that I would explain what I have to. Suppose I have to see how many numbers are there in this. We can see 4 numbers are there. So if I try to print my code, okay, so there is some error. So first I change my terminal, and if I first save my code and try to run, suppose I have 4, 5, 6, 7. While it is giving me some error, let me check. So it is giving me some error which I have to check. Suppose I am making a new terminal. When I try to run my program, it is not running due to some reason. When I try to save it and try to run, I think there is some issue in VS Code. But if you write this code, it will definitely run in your PC. There is some issues that are occurring currently in VS Code. But if you try to run this code, it would definitely run in your computer. But if you still have any doubt, you can ask me. Now, if I try to do another question, that is sum of number of digits. Sum of digits of a number, sorry. So what we would be doing in this case is, suppose I have any number. I take any number as input from the user. Now suppose I have 1, 2, 3. We have to find the sum of each and every number of that digit of that number. Suppose I have a number. I am writing it in comment. I have a number 1, 2, 3. Now I have to find the sum of digits of the number. Digits are 1, 2, 3. So I have to find the sum of 1 plus 2 plus 3. That is 6. So I have to write this code in Python. First, I would have a number which I am taking from user, and after that I would be making a sum variable and assigning it a value 0. Why? Because currently our sum does not include any value. Now I would run a loop. Sorry, so I would simply write while number greater than 0. So if our number is greater than 0, then till then the loop will continue. Now, in the first place, we would be extracting the last digit. So I have told you how to extract the last digit. That is our num modulo 10. Now after that, I would suppose I extracted the last digit. That is, in case of 1, 2, 3, it is 3. Now I would be adding it in my sum. So I would write sum equals to sum plus digit, because initially sum was 0 and after I add sum to my digit, that it would become 3, because digit was 3 and sum was 0. So 0 plus 3, 3. Now I would remove that last digit, and this loop will continue till our number uh, becomes 0. So now I would simply print my number at the end. Sorry, print my sum at the end. Now if I save this and try to run it for 1, 2, 3, it it is still giving error. I don't know why, but it is giving error. So the issue was occurring in our terminal. Now when I again try to save it and then try to run it, it would work. So like you can see, the sum of digits of number I can print uh, easily. So now what we have done is, in this question, is that for the number which we have to print our sum, we have take the number from user as an input, and after that we have make the sum variable, in which initially we know our sum is 0, so we didn't have printed it. Sorry, and so we have taken it as 0. Now when our number becomes 0, we have extracted the last digit, and in the last digit we have add our sum, so that was 0. So after that we have removed the last digit, so after that we have printed our sum. So this was how we print our sum of digits of a number. So now we can in similar way we can also print the product of digits of a number. Now what do I mean by that? I am first writing my question: product of digit of a number. Now suppose I have a number, as I am taking it input from my user. Now in this case we are taking product as 1 initially. Why? Because we know that if we take our product as 1, uh, sorry, if we sorry, I'm starting the question again. Now if first of all I am printing the product of digits of a number, for that I am taking my number as input. Now I am taking my product variable and initializing it a value 1. Now why we are not printing 0? Because when we if we print our product as 0, the whole value would become 0 at the end. So I don't want that thing. I want my correct desired result. So for that I would be taking my product as 1. I am giving the variable name prod. So which is suggesting product. So now in this also, while number is greater than 0, the loop would be running, and I would be extracting the last digit first, like in other cases. So I would be extracting my last digit. So after that I would be multiplying my product into digit. So I would write prod into equals to digit. So I would be using my assignment operators. So after that I would delete that last number. So for that I would use my float division. Remove that digit and finally take my product. I try to run this. Okay, so I'm not using my you can say, if I try to run, so it asking me for so that now what it is giving me is an error. Now why there is an error? Let me see. Okay, so basically it is just lagging. So let me refresh my PC first. So now first of all I would save it, and when I try to run my program, for any number. Suppose 2, 3, 4. Now we know the product of these numbers would be 3 into 2, 6, 6 into 4, 24. So the answer is 24. Now you can see we are getting our desired output. Now in this manner we can basically print the product of digits of a number. So these also are very important question. Do practice them 2 to 3 times. Otherwise you will not get it at any cost. So uh, we have all heard practice makes everyone perfect. So you have to do practice of this. If you don't do practice 2 3 times of the same problem, you will forget the concepts. So, but from my side, I have uh, basically try that your all concepts become clear. But still, if you have any doubt, you can let me know in the comment section, and also you can basically uh, re-watch the video 2 to 3 times if you have any doubt still. Now what would be our next topic is list. Now we would be doing some questions on the topic list. Now we have in our regular classes we have talked about list and covered lot of methods of list, and we have also covered a lot of questions of a list. Now we would be doing some more questions on our topic list. First question is find the largest number present in the list. Find the largest element or digit present in the list. So I have to find the largest element or digit present in the list. So suppose I have a list that is 20, 30, 40, 34, 56. Now we know the largest element in this list is 56. So I have to find the largest element in the list. Now I would be, there are a lot of methods to do this same question. Now I would be explaining to you is the method that I would be explaining to you is the easiest one. So for that we have in our regular classes we have heard about sort method. Now what does sort method do? Mm, Sort method put all the elements present in the list in ascending orders. Mean first at first digit we will get our small element, then a greater element, then a greater. So after sorting the elements, we can find the largest element. So I would be first using my list dot sort. So I would be first sort my list in ascending order. By default, when we sort our list, it is sorted in our ascending order. So now we have sorted our list. Now we have to find the largest number. So how can we find the largest number? We know that if we are sorting a list, we would get our largest number at the end. So I would simply print list, and we can use our slicing method. Sorry, indexing method. So we know that if the last element is the largest, so I can print my list, and in the indexing I can write -1. So it would give me our largest element. Now if I try to run, it is giving 56, and we know 56 is the largest. Now in similar manner we can also find the smallest element present in the list or smallest digit. So I am writing the question, find the smallest digit present in the list. Now for that I would be making a list first. I can enter the same values or different one. Suppose I enter this. Now we know the smallest element is 78. Sorry, 20. Now let me add another small elements. Now suppose I add more small elements. Now for that also we will sort our list first. So when I would sort my list, it would be sorted in ascending order. So we know the very small element would be in the first position. So I would simply, with the help of my indexing method, can index my zero index. I know the element which is present at very first index, that is sorry, at zero index, that is first position, is our smallest element, because in ascending orders the first number is the smallest, then after that a larger number. So if I try to print, we know 2 would be the answer. So okay, I have not saved my output. So when I save it, I am getting 2, which is my correct answer. So this was the smallest digit present in the element. Now, our next question would be how to remove duplicates element uh, present in the list. Remove duplicate elements or digits present in the list. So I would be removing duplicates or duplicate elements that are present in the list or digits. So for that, I have a list. Suppose I have 20, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. Now I have another 20. I have 20 two times and 3 two times. Now I want to remove my duplicate elements. So for that, first of all, I would be making a new list. Now, why did I make a new list? I would be explaining it to you uh, after this, after doing the answer. Now, we would also make our a new, you can say, new variable, that is element. Okay, so I would not be making element. I am just revising the approach that we can use to make it a simpler one. So suppose I use the for loop that I want to iterate over each and every element for I in list. So I am using my for loop to iterate over each and every element. Now I can use my if condition that if our I is not present in list, then we can append it. So if I not in new list, so basically I am iterating over each and every element present in the list. Now, if our I is not in the new list, which I have made, that's why I have made a new list. So we can append that thing. So I would write print I dot append new list. Now, else I would be printing my list. Now, if I try to run this program, it is giving me error. So let's see what more can we do to make this question easier. So first of all, we have iterated over the list. Now, if our character is not present in the list, I would append my character. So if I try to print this thing, okay, so it is giving me error. So I would be I'm leaving this question for right now. I'm not getting what I can do in this question. So I'm leaving this question for now. Now, our next question is reverse a list. So for reversing a list, we can use our method slicing. As I have told you in our tutorial lectures, that how reversing and slicing are very important concepts of any language. Whether you take the case of Java, C++, C, Python, or any language. So now they are also coming in use. So you can see their importance. So now suppose I have any list. I can take any list. So I have to reverse the list. For now, for reversing, I know I would simply write my list name, and in the slicing method, I would leave first two columns empty so that it can print my normal list. And I would in the step index I would use -1. Why? Because -1 uh, because -1 in the step index reverses the list. Now if I save this and reverse my list, you can see the reverse the our list is reversed. So this was how to reverse a list. So now we would be moving to our next question. So let me comment it out. Now our next question is count occurrences of an element in a list. So count occurrences of an element in a list. Now I have to find how many times a particular element has come into a list. So I have a list. Suppose I am taking a list like A, B, 1 at the rate. I cannot add at the rate like this, like this. So I have a list and I have to okay, so I add more duplicate values like 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Now I want to find the occurrences of a particular element in a list. So for that we in our regular classes we have used our count method. So I would write print list dot count. It would count a particular character. Suppose I have to count how many times the word 2 has come. So it would print that. Now if I save this, now it is suggesting 2 has come 2 times. So now we can also check 2 has come 2 times. So we can also check it for 1. Now if I try to run it, okay. So I have to enter 1 here. Now if I save it and try to run, it is giving me 2 times. So we can check how many times a particular character has or element has occurred in our list. Now we can merge two lists. There is a question of merging two lists. Merge two lists. Now suppose I have a list 1, that is our containing numbers such as this. Another list is that it is also containing numbers. Now we have a list, we have two lists. Now we have to merge the two lists. So for that we can simply use our plus operator, which is merging two lists. So I would write list 1 plus list 2. So it would merge my two lists with the help of plus operator. Now if I try to print it, now you can see all the values are merged. Now one more important thing. Here I have used 22 times. And if we try to do the same task in set question, when we are trying to merging two sets with the help of union, they remove the duplicate values, but in list we are getting duplicate values. As you can see, we are getting 22 times. So in list we are not removing the duplicate values automatically, but by default we sorry with our intention we can remove the duplicate values, but by default the compiler will not remove duplicate values that are present in our list. Now what is our next question is average of list elements. So I have to find the average of list elements. So this can be applied only on integer or float type. So I would be taking a list, that is, you can say this list. Now I have to find the average of all these elements that are present in this list. So I would be taking a sum variable. Sum at initially it is 0. Now I would be iterating over the list for I in list. So first of all I have make a list, and to calculate the average first I have taken the sum as 0. So when I iterate over list, if I now I would be adding sum to my I, and I and would you can say and I would be you can say increment my I as well. So after that I would be printing my average. For average I write average is equals to sum by length of list. Now why did I do this? Because first of all I make a sum variable. We cannot directly calculate average. So I add sum to my I, which is iterating over the list. Now after incrementing my I use the variable average. Now how can we find the average? By sum by total number of elements we have discussed. So for finding total number of elements we can use length of the list. It would give total elements present in the list. Now I would print my average. So I would print my average. Now if I save it and try to run, you can see the output 48.0, and if you also check it by calculator it would give the same result. So now the most important thing is it would give the answer in float type. So this thing you have to keep in mind that it would give the answer in float type, not in integer. But with the help of typecasting, you can convert it into an integer. So now another question is, let me comment it out first. So if there are even and odd numbers present in the list, I have to separate them. So the question is separate even or odd numbers present in the list. So for that I would first make a list, that is 2 3 2 2 3 3 sorry 2 2 3 4 5 3. Now I have to separate odd and even numbers. So for that I would also make a list. I would give it a name odd and even, and the list would be empty. Why? Because we have to store some numbers in that. So for that first I would iterate over the list for I in list. Okay, so I have not used my iterator. So now while iterating over my list, if our I is completely divisible by 2, then we can add our elements to even list. So if I is divisible by 0, we can uh, add our uh, numbers to the even list. So I would write I dot append even, else it would be given to odd. So I write I dot append odd. Now at the end I would be printing my, okay, I would be printing my both the even and odd list. Right. Print odd. Now if I save this and try to run, so why it is giving me error? It is saying int object has no attribute append. So if I try to do like this, now you can see. So the mistake I was doing was I was appending I to even, not even to I. This thing you have to keep in mind. Now when we are printing even numbers, it is printing 224, and while odd, it is printing 353. So you can see the output. Also in that manner we can do our that question which was not solvable. Now I can see the error in that, which was to remove duplicate elements. So in this case, if our I is not present in new list, I would simply append new list dot I. New list dot append I. Else print list. So what we are doing in this case was we have to remove duplicate elements. So for that I have taken a list in which some elements are present, including duplicate. Now there is new list. If any element is not present in list, sorry, we will iterate over the list that has elements. And if any element is not present in new list, we would be appending it to the new list. So as we would print our list. Now if I try to print it, okay. So here we have to do new list. Now let me try to run this program. So what we are getting is when uh, there are some elements in the list and I have taken a new list which is empty. Why we have taken it as empty? Because if we want to store some duplicate values, we can store it in our new list. So when I iterate over list and some characters are not present in new list, so I would append that characters and else I would print my new list. So if I remove this new list and then I print it, okay, so I am not printing it right now. Now if I print it and save this, I am getting none. Okay, let me see where we are lagging. Now what it is doing is, if elements are not present in new list, it is appending that elements which are duplicate, that is 20 and 3. Now here we can see that. And also at the end it is printing some elements excluding that duplicate. So it is printing 23, 4, 5, 6. So it is excluding the duplicate cases. This thing we are leaving it for now. Now we would be doing some tuple questions. In this also our first question is count occurrences of an element. Count occurrences of an element. So for that first we would be making our tuple. I suppose I take the name tup. So I have suppose multiple elements. Now I have to find the occurrences of 2. So I would write tup.count. I would be using here also our count method, and in the parenthesis I would be writing 2 because I have to count how many times 2 has occurred. So when I print it, it would answer, it would give us 3 times. So you can see 3 times. So for with the help of our count method, we can find how many time a particular element or digit has occurred in our tuple list. So that's why in our regular classes I was saying that these methods are very important. So keep in mind. So now our next question is find maximum and minimum element present in a tuple. Find max and min element present in a tuple. Now, suppose I have any tuple. I have tuple this. Now, if I have to find the maximum element present in the tuple, I can write print. I can use my max keyword, which would give me max element in my tuple. Now, if I also I would print my min. I would use my min method to find the minimum element that is present in the tuple. Now, if I try to print it, I get maximum as 78 and minimum as 2. So these are the uses of our tuple methods which I was discussing earlier. Now, our next question is convert a list into a tuple and tuple into a list. Convert a list into tuple and tuple into list. Well, convert a list into tuple and vice versa. So this is a very simple question. So first I would be making a list. Suppose I have any values like this. Now I have to convert it into a tuple. So I would write my tuple name as tup1 and I would use a keyword tuple in front of list. So first it would, then afterwards I would print my tup1. Now what I have done is, first I have a list and I have to make it into tuple. So I would use a tuple keyword, then print my tuple. After that I have list 2, list 1, which is another list, and I want the tuple to become list once more. So I would write list in front of it, and after that I would write tup1. Now I would print my list 1. So I can convert my list into a tuple and tuple into list, vice versa. Now if I print it, okay, so it is giving me error. Okay, so I have used my list keyword earlier on. So I would here write list 1 here and list 2 here. Now if I click list here, as I have told you, we cannot make keyword as an variable name. So I have done that mistake in a hurry little bit. So take this case in mind, and if I now try to print it, now if I print it, okay, so I have to also make changes here list 1. Now if I print it, it is converting first a list into a tuple and then the same tuple to a list. So this was the conversion of list into a tuple and vice versa. So the our next and last question of tuple is check whether a element exists in tuple or not. Exist in a tuple or not. So I have to find whether a particular element is present in a tuple or not. So I have a tuple. Suppose we can say this. Now I have to find whether a particular element is present in tuple or not. So I would be taking the element as input from the user. Now I would be iterating over each and every element of my tuple. So I would write for I in tuple. So if our element no, not in tup, then print not found, else print found. So what I have, one second. So what I have done is first I have a tuple and I have taken an element. So when I would iterate over each and every element, now if my element is not present in tuple, print not found and else print found. Now if I save it and try to run for an element suppose 2. So it is suggesting found because 2 is present. And so I have to use break statement here as well so that there are not multiple found printed as it would be found type found. So now if I save it and try to run, suppose I enter 2 again. Now it is giving me error. Okay, so one thing that I can do is I can write this found statement here. So I can write if element in tuple print found, else print not found. I am using my break statement. I am not using my break statement at correct position. So for that I would use my break statement here. This means if whenever our element is found in tuple, it would break. Else it would print not found. Okay, so I have to first save my program and then I print it. So I printed for 2. Again it is giving me some error due to terminal issues. Otherwise our code is 100% right. Now if I print it for 2. It is giving some issues due to our terminal, but if you try to run this program, it would definitely run. So this was our couple questions as well. Now in the next lecture, we would be covering our questions of next topics. So also see the lecture, and I would be attaching the link of the playlist in the description box of this video. So thanks, and do see this lecture and cover each and every question. Thanks.